Commence primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and thank you for watching one of my pre-release guides for Star Wars Unlimited's new and fourth set, Jump to Lightspeed. Now, Jump to Lightspeed pre-release begins on March 7th, where you're going to be introduced to new cards with new mechanics, new leader actions, new abilities, and new tokens. You're also going to see the growth among factions in Star Wars, like Rebels, Resistance, First Order, and Imperial. If this is your first time watching one of my guides, I'll let you know that we're going to be looking at commons and uncommons within this set that can strengthen the synergy with the leader you choose to play. There are going to be some great rares and legendaries that fit really well with some of these leaders, but the chances of you pulling a rare or legendary that does that is going to be a lot slimmer than your chance of pulling a common or uncommon in your 6 booster packs that can really fill out your deck and the theme you're working for. With that said, let's begin to look at some of these leaders and see what kind of fun we can have on pre-release day. So let's take a look at this Star Wars original Wedge Antilles. Now, Wedge Antilles is making his debut here as a leader, but we've seen him on other cards before. As an action, you can exhaust Wedge to play a card from your hand using the new piloting keyword, and it costs 1 less. This is going to make the cost from cards that have the piloting skill of 1 down to 0, allowing you to have more options of playing multiple cards in a turn, as well as just getting a really good action economy. Now, as an epic action, you can deploy Wedge Antilles when you have 5 or more resources. This usually is going to happen on turn 4 for you in a pre-release match. You can either deploy him as a ground unit, where he's a 3/6, or you can deploy him as a pilot to a vehicle in any arena. When he is equipped to that vehicle, the vehicle is now a leader unit. It has +3, +4, to its attack and its health, and on attack, the next pilot card you play this phase costs 1 less. So the trigger changes about what Wedge can do, but he's still all about making your pilots cost less. In order to get an effective strategy with Wedge, you're going to want to make sure you're grabbing pilots from your sealed pool, as well as making sure you're playing a lot of low-cost vehicles, or cards that can create the 2/2 X-Wing token, or even some TIE Fighter 1/1 tokens. You need options for your pilots to go on and to take advantage of this ability. Now, the most important thing here is because Wedge can come out when on turn 4, when you have 5 resources, it'd be really wise to have a strong card that you played the turn before that gets better when Wedge is equipped, or just to ensure you have 2 to 3 other options before Wedge comes out. Let's take a look at some of the cards I'm going to recommend that work with this. The first one's going to be Red Leader. Fitting, it's going to be Wedge's flagship here. It is a 4-cost 3/4 that says this unit costs 1 less to play for each friendly pilot and upgrade. When a pilot and upgrade attaches to this unit, create an X-Wing token. So if you can get a vehicle out and a pilot out on turn 1, you can play Red Leader on turn 2, because now his cost is reduced. This means on turn 3, you're going to have a few more options here, and then on turn 4, you can equip Wedge to Red Leader. Now, if you can equip Wedge to Red Leader in any of your turns, that's going to be great. It's going to really strengthen what Red Leader can do and give you another ship. A pilot we're going to recommend here is the 2-cost Jarek Yeager. He's a 2/3 ground unit, but with piloting skill of 2, reduce that to 1 with Wedge's ability, and you get a +2/+2 on a unit you control, vehicle unit. Next, Poe Dameron, a 4-cost that says when played as a unit, create an X-Wing token, and you may attach this unit as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. He's a 3/3 when he's in the ground arena, but this gives you a couple more options here of what you can do. When he's piloting a ship, it's only going to give it a +2/+2, and his piloting ability only costs you 2 to equip them to a vehicle or throw them on an upgrade vehicle. You get it. Let's take a look at some more cards. Another command aspect card is going to be the Veteran Fleet Officer. This is a 2-for-1 here. You're getting an X-Wing token and a ground unit. It's more options for you to hit your opponent's base with. It's 2 threats on the board for your opponent, and it's another vehicle for you to throw a pilot on. Clone Pilot's another good card because it's a common with a piloting skill of 2. That's just a +2/+2 or a 2/2 ground unit. It gives you a little bit of versatility, and you can strengthen those X-Wing tokens to a 4/4 by just paying 1 resource. In Vigilance, the Red Squadron X-Wing is still going to be your friend here. It's a 3-cost card that is a 3/4 space unit, and when played, you may deal 2 damage to this unit, and if you do, draw a card. Drawing cards is always effective. It just is. If you're a little bit ahead of your opponent, it's only going to keep you further ahead. If you're behind, it could match you up. It could give you the answers you need. Honestly, in a limited pool, taking the extra 2 damage here for the card is always going to be your best bet. If they want to swing into the Red Squadron X-Wing, that's 3 damage they're going to take. That is usually going to kill something early in the game. You also have You're All Clear Kid, a great 2-cost removal that says defeat an enemy space unit with 3 or less remaining HP. If you do, and an opponent has no space units, you may give an experience token to another unit. Strengthening your units that have pilots on them is going to ensure that they stay around a little bit longer. Or again, you're putting an upgrade on another unit that may benefit from having upgrades on it, like shields or experience counters. In the aggression aspect, let's look at Frisk, one of the few New Republic cards we've seen. Frisk is a 3/2 ground unit that you can pay for 2. Or you can use the piloting mechanic of 2 to play him as an upgrade. And when you play him as an upgrade, you may defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less while giving the vehicle +2/+2. It's a solid card to play for 1. It's not a bad card to play for 2 resources. Another great ship that costs you 2 is Red Squadron Y-Wing. There's a theme here with Wedge, and it is his Red Squadron. It's a 2-cost 1/3 space unit that says on attack, deal 3 indirect damage to the defending player. Indirect damage is one of the new key mechanics within the set that says the player that you hit has to assign 3 unpreventable damage among their base and units as they choose. I love forcing an opponent to make these decisions because it puts them a little bit on tilt. They have to get out of their head. They can't think about their next action. They have to now think, what is the right play here? And does my opponent have a way of doing more damage to a unit if I put some of this damage on it? It's a risk. One of my favorite cards, maybe a little risky, is this little 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker. He's a 2-cost 2/3, and he's about to try spinning with a piloting mechanic of 2. Wedge will make this cost 1, which I think makes it more valuable. Now, when he completes an attack, so he has to survive, or his ship has to survive, I should say, you can return the upgrade back to your hand. This is good because it may save your Anakin as you continue to go throughout the game. Now you can equip, when you upgrade, a vehicle, you're going to give it a +2/+3. So if you're swinging with an X-Wing with Anakin, it's a 4/5. If you bounce Anakin to your hand, you can ensure that if your opponent decides to kill that X-Wing, that you still have a great pilot that's only going to cost you 1 using Wedge's ability. A card that works well with this is going to be the Black Squadron Scout Wing. It is a common, so you're likely to hit this card. It's a 5-cost 4/6 space unit that says when you play an upgrade on this unit, you may attack with this unit, and it gets +1/+0 for the attack. So using a card like Anakin early and then having it later on for a card like the Black Squadron is going to ensure you're getting a lot of extra damage as well as protecting one of your key pilots. In the hero aspect, you're going to need some X-Wings, so let's play dedicated wingmen to create 2 more X-Wings. Those are 2/2 space unit tokens, and the resistant X-Wing that gets stronger for every pilot you have on it, ensuring they can stay alive long enough for someone like Wedge to deploy and hopefully put your opponent closer to death. Last is non-aspect. The attack run here allows you to attack with 2 space units. This can be helpful just in ensuring you're getting that damage before your opponent can take out any of your upgraded vehicles. And the flanking Fang Fighter, which has Raid 2, allowing you to hit for a total of 4. Now, if you can equip this card with Wedge, that's a lot of damage that's coming to your opponent, which is why we're throwing it in here. So let me know how it works at your local pre-release or sealed event with Wedge Antilles. Did you get the right bombs you wanted to? What colors did you end up playing with them? Did you end up getting a pilot every turn? What happened? I'm curious, and I wish you luck at your future events, and may the Force be with you.